Hello, everyone. Once again, you are welcome to another edition of Distracting or Directing. Kemi and Sam, we want to welcome you here today. We are so glad you are able to join us. Today, we're going to be discussing another beautiful topic from where we stopped last time. Last time, we couldn't finish everything up. We talked about emotional maturity. And today we're going to continue from where we stopped last time. And we are having the same beautiful, gorgeous woman with us again. And let me remind you something. If you missed the last show, if you missed the last episode of this distracting or directing, you might just want to go back and view it and learn something about the emotional maturity that we talked about. And today we're moving on. We're going to be talking about emotional stability. And we have, like I said, we have this gorgeous woman with us last time. If you want to know more about her, I think I'm just going to let Sam continue from there. Welcome, welcome once again.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We really want to be grateful for everyone that is joining. So a quick addition to what Kema said. Wherever you're joining from, we really welcome you. And I want to encourage you to go prepare your question. And we have a few questions we'll be discussing. Prepare your questions and let us know where you're joining from. And don't forget to share this view. We've had great feedback. Thank you for all the feedbacks. Thank you. So don't share, leave your comment, invite someone to also join live with us. So the next face you will be seeing will be our gorgeous guest, Oby. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Oby Davies.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello once again.
Good afternoon, Kemi and Sam.
Good
Thank
afternoon.
you for having me. It's
so
always
glad
a
to have
pleasure.
you.
Always
We're
a
so glad
pleasure to be here.
Mhm.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for
Yeah.
having me.
Yeah, the last time it was a great feedback we had, and we talked about maturity. And I remember you said it should have been stability, then maturity,
Yeah.
and now we are completing that part of the stability. So maturity, stability. You know how you get stabilized after all of during this pandemic. A lot of going through stuff, so it's a huge topic for us. So I know you're ready for that as well.
Do you want to tell, do you want to tell viewers a little bit about yourself?
Oh yes. My name is Oby. Obiageli Olubumi Davis. I always have to take time to say my name slowly because it's mouthful. Obiageli Olubumi Davis is my name. Short, Oby O-Davies. Who am I? I'm a mom. I'm a believer. I'm a child of God. I am a mother to two gorgeous children. I am a supply chain professional. At the same time, I am a coach. I'm a career coach. I'm a personal development coach. I strongly believe that no matter how good we are, there's always more. We can always be better, we can do better, and we can live better, we can walk better. And so I help people, improve their lifestyles, improve their businesses, improve their career in particular. What else do I do? I founded, very recently, I founded an advocacy for the sickle cell condition. I run an advocacy for children with sickle cell condition and other invisible disabilities. I am beginning to put out my voice strongly in that area. It's something that has also affected my life for decades. So yes, I'm an advocate for children, and I am also an advocate for women, particularly Christian men who feel very disenfranchised and they are afraid to speak up their reality. I am a voice for the women. Yes, I think I'll just stop there. I'm a can see. I love to talk about Yes, I love to talk about issues that pertain to humanity and issues that just prevent us from living the fullness of ourselves. Those are the kind of things that I talk about. So I'm also a public speaker.
Okay.
And I live in Winnipeg. Manitoba.
Manitoba.
And I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so yeah, the topic we want to discuss today is emotional stability, right? I
Mhm.
know so many people out there might know what it means, but to you, in your own words, how do you want to describe it in a layman, in just a simple word? Emotional stability. What does it mean?
Stability. So, the way I like to describe emotional stability, I would just describe it as that ability to handle adversity, difficulties, and unpleasant circumstances. It's the ability to handle it in a way that does not make you lose yourself,
Hmm.
lose your character.
Hmm.
So, emotional stability is that capability as an individual to manage or handle circumstances, difficulties, and adversity in a way that you're still able to keep your balance while you do
Hmm.
that. You don't lose your character or lose yourself in the
Hmm.
process. That is how I would describe emotional stability.
Thank you so much. And viewers out there, if you have any question, don't forget to like post your questions out there and then help us share this as well. Yeah, thank you so much about that. Yeah, you've talked about emotional stability. Are there particular things that you say can cause emotional instability in people? What are the causes?
Causes of emotional stability. That's it's a big one. Of course, there are a lot of things that could cause emotional stability.
Hmm.
Um, Upbringing, for one,
Hmm.
is the number one cause of emotional stability. Let me put it that way: life. And when I say life, it's an embodiment of how you were raised. Could be a cause of emotional stability. Your background as an individual, the environment that you grew up in, the cultural beliefs that you grew up
Hmm.
in, be a cause of emotional stability. And I'm sure as we go along, we'll be able to dig deeper into what I mean by this. Your environment can be a huge cause of emotional stability. What happens around you. As we dig deeper, we'll be able to drill down further. That could be a cause of emotional stability as well.
Yeah.
Situations, for
Hmm.
example, like unexpected events in your life could
Hmm.
Hmm.
COVID is one big one. I mean,
Hmm.
Hmm.
I
there's no
know.
far-fetched example. Like COVID
Hmm.
was in 2020. And here
Yeah,
we
it's
Yeah,
a big one. Yeah,
it's a
it
big
are.
is.
one.
In
Yes,
2021, we're
yes.
still suffering from the effect of 19, and it's still here with us, right? Isn't that?
Hmm.
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 So yeah, so unexpected circumstances and events in life could also be a cause of emotional stability.
Great.
So
Wow.
those are like the major things that could be a cause, yeah, that could
Hmm.
cause you to become emotionally unstable. And then
Hmm.
you have things like accidents, traumatic events as well. All of those things put together
Hmm. Hmm.
could be a cause of emotional stability.
Emotional stability.
Oh,
Hmm.
someone's asking that you should please make the show shareable.
Oh, it's actually shareable. That's a very good one. The art is actually shareable. I just make, yeah, let's see. If you go on my page, Samson Oyeyola, if you go on my page, Samson Oyeyola, you'll be able to share it.
Sure.
But I can just copy the link and send it right away into
Yeah,
this chat. Yeah,
I
thank
think
you for
maybe
that.
yeah, I think maybe put the link into the comment so they can
Into the comment.
on it
Yes.
and go there. That
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, thank you for letting us know that. I will
Yeah.
work on that right away. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, as we're going on, yeah, COVID, we're talking about COVID.
COVID.
COVID is a big thing. It has made a
yes.
lot of people unstable, family, finance,
Financially.
marriage, and then students working from home and all
Mhm.
sorts of stuff. Yeah. Now
Mhm.
let's look at this. It's what? How do I know if I am emotionally unstable? Let's
Unstable.
start from there. It's a big one. some won't know, but from your
Really?
experience, yeah,
Well,
some will come
I,
into the different thing. Like so, from your experience, let's
well,
hear that.
from my experience, so how do I know if I'm emotionally unstable? I think
Mhm.
I would just maybe rephrase that and
Okay.
say, what are those symptoms? All right,
Okay.
Mm,
symptoms of what should
mm,
be, what are the indicators that will make me
Realize.
either myself or people around me that will help notice that people would see what are
mm,
the symptoms of emotional instability.
mm,
Number one, you become very irritable,
Hmm.
mm,
really offended.
mm,
Uh, you find yourself getting upset. Let me use the
mm,
Canadian terminology here.
mm, mm,
You, you're
mm,
frequently upset by anything and almost everything gets you upset.
mm,
You are extremely nervous, so you find yourself, you feel this high level of anxiety and nervousness about everything. You're tensed up, always tensed up. Like
mm,
Hmm.
you feel so tense, you're always on the edge. You are angry.
mm,
Little
Hmm.
things get you angry. Like things as little as maybe kids are just playing and then their voices go up a little bit. You flare up, you're angry. You don't see it as children actually enjoying playtime. Instead, you see
Hmm.
these kids just disturbing, making too much noise and disturbing your mental state right now.
mm,
Things like that. You have mood swings.
mm,
I
Hmm.
experience like mood swings. You're moody. You're not happy, and you just can't explain why. You just know that you're not feeling your best. You would rather be alone. You're not just happy. Nothing excites you, so you're just
mm,
moody. That's part of the symptoms. There's also fear. Fear, constant fear, fear of abandonment, fear of not knowing what's going to happen next. You're just afraid
mm,
of
mm,
you're afraid of
mm,
tomorrow. You're afraid of what happens next. You're afraid people are going to leave you if you're in a relationship.
Hmm.
You're afraid that you may lose somebody. There's fear, constant fear. I mean,
mm,
is one of those symptoms that you might be emotionally unstable if you consistently feel fear. And there's an interesting one,
Hmm.
mm. I want to hear it.
We want to hear that.
suspicion.
Mm,
Always suspecting that people are after you. You are suspicious of people's motives, people's mood.
mm, mm,
Anything people say or do, you interpret it negatively. There's always a negative connotation to people's words, actions, deeds around you. That
mm,
symptom that something might be wrong down there, inside of you emotionally. What else? There's that feeling of worthlessness,
mm,
feeling empty, feeling worthless, feeling you're not, like you're just never good enough, you know. And I think the very extreme one, the very extreme symptom as well is feeling suicidal. Like
mm,
nothing is worth it, life is worthless, it doesn't make sense anymore. I should just end it. That consistent feeling
Hmm.
you don't make you have no value, you're not adding any value to the world. Your circumstances are just too hard for you to bear. The best thing to do is just to check out, and then you start considering taking your own life.
mm,
Yeah, so yeah, those would be the those are the few symptoms that I feel. Those are those things that might be an indicator. If you find yourself feeling any of those things, it might be an indicator. So we talked about being upset all the time, feeling irritable all the time, you're consistently feeling nervous, you're tensed up all the time. Uh, you find yourself, easily angered, you're always
mm,
getting angry,
mm.
you have mood swings, you're just sad and unhappy.
Yeah.
You're not
Hmm.
excited all the time. Those are symptoms, right? You live in fear, like your fear never
Hmm.
so consistent and it takes a hold
Hmm.
of your
Mm,
person. That's also a symptom. Then we talked about suspicion, always suspecting that Everything is out to get you, out to pull you down, out to, you suspect people's moves around you. We talked about feeling empty, feeling worthless, and then we also talked about feeling suicidal, like just
Mm.
Yeah.
to end
Mm.
it. So yeah,
Mhm.
those are the things that the symptoms, that may be pointers to the fact that there's something going on inside of you, and you might be emotionally unstable.
Unstable.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah. Having said all that, is there something that people can do, like to improve their emotional
Stability.
stability? Is there something? Do they
Yes.
have to seek for help? What are the things? Do they have to? Is there something they have to do individually, or they have to seek for help? What are those things that
Yes,
people can
Kemi.
do to
There are
improve?
things, there are three major things that you can do to help your emotional stability.
Mm.
Three things you can do to move yourself from that point of being emotionally unstable, and you begin to work on taking yourself to where you're supposed to be. Remember the definition I gave, that being emotionally stable is the ability to handle and manage circumstances and situations without losing your character or yourself or your self balance.
Mm-hmm.
I choose that word, the ability to manage it, because you're, I always don't live in a bubble. You live in a world.
Yeah,
So all these issues would always come at
things
you.
will come. Yeah.
But you need to be able to manage it and see them as issues so that it doesn't take over who you are as a person. So there are three major things that you can do to become emotionally stable. I put them in three major categories. The first one is perspective. Perspective is everything.
Mm.
There are two categories, pardon me. There's the internal work that you need to do to
Okay.
make yourself emotionally stable. And then there's also the external work that you need to do. Okay. Internal work that you need to do is where perspective comes in. Perspective is everything.
Hmm.
Perspective is simply the way you interpret the things that happen to you, around you, and inside you.
Mm.
And perspective is like the foundation, the number one thing that you need to understand and manage for you to become emotionally stable. Sometimes you are able to do it by yourself, at least the first part. If you are not able to, then you would have to go out and get help.
Yeah.
Mm.
The number one thing, perspective, managing the way you see things. It starts with yourself, being self aware, understanding your identity in your core. Who am I? Why am I wired the way I am? Why do I think the way I think?
Hmm.
How am I feeling right now? So, for
Mm.
example, if you feel yourself that you're constantly angry, especially in COVID, and in a lot of homes, people are just locked up together in the same place. For example,
Mhm.
I'm in here with my kids.
I
I'm
know.
as I use the word cooked up, I always say, look, we're all cooked up here together. We will step on each other's toes, but we
Mm-hmm.
gotta find a way to work it. So some days are good, some days are bad. Some days we wake up and everybody is just grouchy and grumpy. I mean,
Mm.
this is reality, right?
Mhm.
Mm.
If you find yourself that you are angry, you wake up, you're just angry, kids are playing, you see it as
Mm.
noise, disturbing you. You want to go into yourself and say, why am I, what is upsetting me exactly?
Mm.
Why should this be making me angry?
Mm.
Why am I consistently angry? You
Mm.
dig inside yourself and find answers to the question. Is it that there's something happening to me that is outside the usual, or is it the way I am interpreting things?
Mm.
Let me take this to a level that we may all be able to relate to.
Mm-hmm.
We all work. So in the workplace, you do something, maybe you create a report and you send it in, and then your boss calls you up and says, oh, by the way, can we talk about this report? Paragraph 3 and 4, I would have handled it in a different way, and I think you should write it in a certain manner.
Mm.
That's feedback, right?
That's right.
Two things can happen. I can walk away from that meeting feeling this man just does not like me. He's punching holes in in the report I just did. I spent 8 hours doing this report. Oh my God. I hope I don't get sacked. Why would he say, but I wrote this thing properly? He didn't even give me examples of how to write it better. He's just after me. He just wants to, create problems. He wants to have something to hold on to so that when it's time for my appraisal, do you see how negative interpretations, keep spiraling? You could feel like that. It could ruin your whole day. It could.
Mm.
The other thing that could happen is for you to say, oh, all right. Oh, I see it. I didn't think about it that way. I could actually
Yeah.
improve.
Mm.
Just
Mm.
learn something new. True. Next time, I'm going to improve the subsequent reports that I write.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's
So
right.
that's the power of perspective, how you interpret things. And the second part of perspective is knowing who you are in your core. On that upbringing and cultural and traditional inclinations is one of the causes, might be one of the causes of emotional instability. Our upbringing is the first constructor of how we process things, how we think, how we respond to situations.
Mm.
Everybody's upbringing and the way we are raised, it doesn't stop at dictating how we look, what our value system is. It also shapes the way we think, the way we process things that happen to us, and the
Yeah.
way we respond to
That's
it.
right. Mm.
Okay. Upbringing is what creates how we have expectations of people,
Mm.
Mm.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
how we have expectations of circumstances, and how we have expectation of situations.
Mm.
Expectations is one of those big things that you need to manage if you want to be emotionally stable.
Mm. Mm.
A lot of us, depending on how we were brought up, for some of us were raised in homes where your parents never spoke or acknowledged you except when you did something wrong.
Mm.
And so you grew up in an environment that was very, very critical, so to speak. You were raised in a situation where the only time you hear your parents repeat something 2 or 3 times is not when you've done something right, but when you have done something wrong.
Wrong.
So you hear somebody came first. Why didn't you come? Somebody in your class came first. Why would you bring me a report card that shows that you came fifth position or 10th position? Now, for those of you who are not Nigerians, you not understand.
No, no.
Our educational system is a
Yeah.
competitive grading, right?
Mm-hmm.
If there
Yeah.
are 50
Mm,
children in the class,
mm,
then the results at the end of the day, somebody has to
mm,
come. So it's like
Someone.
like a 100-meter race. Somebody has to come first, somebody has to come second, and then there's somebody who has to come 50th.
Did.
Sometimes
Yeah.
people tie. And so and so you get home with your report card. And if you come second position, some parents are going to complain.
Exactly. Yes.
And you will not hear the last of it. You probably hear it every day for the whole of your holidays. God bless you. You make a mistake, it's going to come up. It is going to come up. You
That is
washed
the
your
typical.
plate. You did not drive properly. No, you did not come first in class. You came second place. The people who came first place, do they have
Oh
to?
my God.
You
Mhm.
forget to sweep your room. This is the reason why you can't. It's yeah, funny
I
but
know.
true.
Yeah,
So
that's
true.
true.
And
That's
and for those of us who grew up in the African context,
Mm-hmm.
70% of us, we grew up in homes like that.
That's right.
mm-hmm.
Praise you when you do something right. You probably hear it once, right there in the fleeting moment. Oh, good job, well done. But that's where it ends. But criticism, you would hear over and over and over again.
Mm.
Now, what does that do? You grow up with the expectation that if it's not perfect,
Hmm.
not enough.
Mm.
And then you also now have that thing in your subconscious mind where you are not intentionally looking out for what to praise, what to celebrate. Instead, you're looking for what to criticize.
Criticize.
Hmm.
Mm.
And then
Totally.
and then you have expectations of people that are a bit outlandish, but you don't realize it. And because nobody is perfect, right? You just find yourself being angry all the time because people are not meeting these expectations that you have created in your head and in your mind as a result
Mm-hmm.
of background and how you grew up.
Mm.
Hmm.
Mm.
So, for you to move from being emotionally unstable and to begin to walk towards being a bit more stabilized, the two things you need to adjust your perspectives, which is how you see things, and your
Mhm.
expectations, which is what you expect to happen, what you expect people to do,
Mm.
right? And how you expect your circumstances to play out.
Mm.
In order to do those two, you have to be very intentional because it's not easy. You need to be self-aware who you are and how you are wired. That's where your identity comes in.
Hmm.
So how was I brought up? What are my values? What are those thinking patterns that I have in my subconscious that might be affecting how I live today and might be shaping how I interpret what happens to me, what happens around me, and what happens inside of me.
Mm.
The first thing is in being intentionally is admitting, okay, I'm always angry. Okay, I'm always depressed. Okay, I feel off. Oh, yes, I admit I am moody. I admit I am afraid. I admit that I am feeling empty. The biggest one is that suspicion because that's the one that is so subtle. It's hard to recognize that it's a problem,
Mm.
and it's and it's so debilitating, right? Suspicion just it's and people don't want to admit it because it sounds dirty that you're suspicious.
Suspicious.
Yeah.
And you see, it's the biggest thing that I have seen in this COVID situation. I've had the opportunity to talk to a few couples, and suspicion just takes center stage and does more harm than good.
Mm. 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 Mm.
Inside your head, you're saying, she's behaving like this, or if I say this, she will think that this is what I mean, or if I say that, he will think this is what I.
Mm.
Your wife is talking to you, or your husband is just talking to you from a place of, just wanting to share, and you are already you're
Processing.
not even listening to what he's saying.
You've
The
already
scenario is already
exactly.
playing in your head, what you feel he's
Mm.
thinking, what he is going to do, or he picks up his car key, he's just going to get gas, and he says, oh, I'm coming, I need to step out for a few minutes, and you, the woman, you're already thinking, this one that he has taken his key, I'm sure before he comes out now, it will probably be 10 p.m. I think I know where he's going.
Mm.
And this is reality.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
And
Mm.
this is
Mm.
reality. And before you know it, those thoughts that you're thinking, they become real things. They become like movies that you play out, and then it starts appearing in your behavior,
Hmm.
Mm.
you know. Uh,
Yeah.
so back to what I was saying, you need to be intentional. You have to catch yourself when your mind is, because
Mm.
things happen in the mind, right? You have to
Mhm.
catch yourself and be intentional. That's make yourself responsible for thinking about what you're thinking, admitting what is going on your inside, and seeing where you can put it. Is it my
Mm.
perspective that is wrong?
That's right.
Change it. Is it that I'm expecting too much? Is my expectation in order?
Mm.
Is my
Mm.
expectation Is it too much? Is this, am I expecting too much, or do I need to adjust my expectation? And to adjust perspective and adjust expectation, you have to be intentional. So you need to be
Mm.
full of it.
Wow, wow.
Thank you.
You've actually hit on all of the points. I mean, all of the things that I was processing on my mind. But that suspicious part is huge. And it has
Yeah.
broken, I know it has broken a lot of relationship. Even at the place of work, it has broken a lot of
Mhm.
relationship. The moment you start being suspicious. Thank you for
Right.
mentioning that. It's
Yeah.
huge. Yeah.
If you're
Right.
just joining us, this is
Mhm.
another edition of Distracting or Directing with Sam and Kemi, and we have our amazing guest, Oby O-Davies. And we've been talking about emotional stability, Saints. And if you missed the previous one, you can watch it on our page,
Yeah.
is there,
It's
where Obi talked about emotional
maturity.
maturity, and
Mm.
today is just a continuation of where we stopped last time. Okay, and then yeah, because we're running out of time now, right? And we still have so many things to talk about, about emotional stability. Okay, yeah. Why do you think that emotional stability is so much important in someone's life and in our world today, especially during this COVID, this pandemic? Why do you think it's so much important?
It's like saying, why is being alive important?
Hmm.
Really, because your stability is your state, your emotional buildup is your state of mind.
Mm.
It's your mind. It's
Hmm.
important that your mind is stable so that you can function. How do you
Hmm.
function optimally if your mind is in disarray?
Stable.
It's important because this is what dictates how you behave, how you react, how you appear. It's what determines if you're going to be having a good day or a bad day. It
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
determines if you're going to have good relationships or bad relationships. This is
Mm.
what
Mm.
determines the character that you portray to people around you.
Mm.
Mm.
It affects your life and your livelihood.
Mm.
So your ability to hold yourself together,
Mm.
very, very important and critical. Emotional stability is everything. Like I said when we were looking at, the symptoms,
Yeah.
thing can cost you your life.
Mm.
Mm. That's right.
That's that the most extreme, sign of emotional instability is having suicidal thoughts. And I know that because I walked that journey.
Wow.
My life, I wanted to take it because I was
Wow.
tired. Yeah. And guess what? It wasn't showing on my face. That was
Mm.
all nicely made up, happy go lucky on the outside. But on my inside, I was ready to end it.
Mm.
You see? So it is so important that you need to catch yourself. And like I said, if you are unable to do it for yourself, if you
Mm.
can't do internal work of catching yourself or helping yourself, don't be shy. Go
People.
external.
Talk to people. Yeah.
Start by doing those things that you feel might help you, you know. Um, Talking to somebody that you trust.
Mm.
Find circles that help your mind. Understanding your energy field. What makes me happy? What would help me to thrive? If it's
Mm.
playing a game, if it's exercise, try that.
Mm.
But if that doesn't work, please seek help.
Now.
There are tons of resources online. There are tons of resources, even that the government has provided all over the world. All you need to do is just go in there and Google. If you don't have data, talk to somebody, let somebody find someone for you that
Mm.
you to and speak to. Get help.
Mm.
Emotional stability is so critical, Kemi. Back to your question.
Mm.
Mm. Okay.
Sometimes it's the definition between staying alive and ending.
Mm.
Mm.
Wow.
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 It's that important.
Mm.
We all need to start paying attention. to it, because it is what it starts and then it grows. It grows. The end point being, I want to take my life, I want to end it.
Mm.
That's why we need to pay attention and be intentional about it.
Mm. Mm.
Okay.
I would rather wish we stay here because this is huge, with a lot going on in our world today. It's resulting to so much mental health.
Yeah.
I mean, going on within our community. With that
Mhm.
thought, I mean, you coming out of it is a big miracle. I mean, I can imagine someone thinking from a 7 to 8, 9, 10 story building, thinking of jumping
Jumping.
up, jumping
Mhm.
down.
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
and at the end of it, it's I mean, it's touching. So I want to ask this question. Well, I would just probably the last one from me though. It will be, uh, at what stage, or probably how does our mental health affect our emotional stability?
Thanks, Sam. I think it's actually the other way around.
Okay.
It's your emotional stability that affects your mental health.
Hmm.
Hmm. Oh wow.
So your all these feelings that you go through, being upset, being excessively nervous, tense,
Hmm.
angry, your mood swings, consistent fear,
Hmm.
um, emptiness, and feeling suicidal. These are the things that affect your mental health.
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
And they
Hmm.
begin to affect your mental health if they
Hmm.
go checked, if you don't admit it that there's something wrong with you, if
Hmm.
you don't have somebody within your environment who is kind enough and loves you enough and truthful
Hmm.
enough to say to you, something is off, it's hard.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's even hard to tell because sometimes you don't wear it on your face. Like somebody like me, it's when I was going through that season, people didn't know what I was going through.
Wow.
Hmm.
You were still smiling, being yourself.
Hmm.
I was still smiling. I was being myself. It took two friends who are
Wow.
super sensitive
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
identify
Wow.
that, girl, something's not right with you. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
talk to me, and it took me a while before I could start coming out about what I was going through. Really, it literally took a meltdown for me to begin to say to myself, "Okay, Obi, let's start doing something about this. This is going too far." And I started to seek help. You need to pay attention to it. Number one, don't take your feelings for granted.
Hmm.
If you are consistently moody, especially, I think that's the number one sign. I'm just not happy. I'm just not excited. Start telling people, I don't know, but I just feel like I'm not excited. I'm not happy. Don't take what you feel for granted.
Hmm.
Don't sweep issues under the carpet,
Hmm.
especially when it comes to relationships. Christians, please, we Christians and believers, we tend to sweep a lot of things under one voice. It is well.
Hmm.
It
When
is.
people
This is
come,
well.
it is well. Yes, it is well.
Hmm. Hmm.
I
Hmm.
don't belittle the scripture, but even Jesus
Hmm.
was very expressive of his message in several ways.
Hmm.
But explain what it means, even in different parables.
Hmm.
Speak out, even to his disciples. Please stop hiding what you feel under it is well. It is
Hmm.
not well, and you know
Hmm.
it.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
It is not well, and it is
Hmm.
okay for you to come out and say it's not okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm
Face it.
I'm not fine. I know God is gonna do something, but this is how I feel right now.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
You need to be honest with yourself.
That's right.
Faith works for almost everything to turn around.
Hmm.
Faith cannot do for you what your mouth is supposed to do.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
It is wisdom for you to know how to hold on to what you believe, but
Hmm.
for what is troubling you.
That's right.
When Jesus was going to go to the cross, he even said, Father, please take this cup away from me. He told his disciples, so one of you is going to betray me. These were his own ways of expressing the concern, the fear that he felt inside. He expressed it. You need to learn how to express what is going on the inside of you. You know, one of those things that I did for myself was to tell myself, it is well has to go out of my vocabulary. I stopped saying it because for decades, I was foolish by thinking that it is well,
while it
takes
is
care of
not.
everything that is going on my inside. And I was praying, I was believing God, but I did not do the work of voicing out, of seeking help, of sharing my problems, of sharing those things that were eating me up inside. People may feel like, you may feel like, oh, if I share this problem, they will think that I'm foolish. They will in a certain way. Then you are not in the right circle. You don't have the right circle.
I know. No. You need to
And
move
you
out of
can
that
talk to
circle.
people, they don't have to be your friends. Anything the internet has done for us today, one of the biggest blessings of technology today is that there is help that you need, and you don't have to be related. You don't need to know each other. There are platforms you can go to anonymously. You can share your thoughts. You can unburden. By the way, if you're looking for a place to unburden, you can find my Instagram page. You can to the calendar. You just need somebody to talk to. You want to make sure your your confidentiality is protected. Pick up the phone, please. Don't end it. Life, this world needs you. Nobody is worthless. If you're afraid of talking to people in your circle, pick up the phone and call me, DM me, email me. Just get in touch with somebody and unburden. It is not well. Not well until you address those things that are eating you up inside. If you are constantly afraid and you are okay, I'm just going to say it. You are married. Even your husband, your spouse, that is supposed to be your place of comfort, the one that instills fear in your life, immediately he pulls up at the driveway, your heart cuts. You're consistently scared. You can't speak your mind. You are afraid. You wake up in fear. You go to bed in fear. That's right.
Wow.
You don't know how to communicate what you feel to this person because he's so brash and rash that he's going to explode at you and talk you down and insult you and make you feel like you're nothing. It's not right. There are counselors who can help you to come and communicate what you want to say to him. You can find help.
That's right.
If you're a man too and your wife is like a razor mouth, to walk into your home.
And then you have to
because she's going to shred you to pieces with her mouth. You can't even say one word to her because you're afraid of what you're going to hear.
She had said 100.
That can help you.
No.
There are counselors that can help you. You're a student. You have failed certain exams. You've written it over and over again. And now you feel like you're just behind the pack. Like everybody is better than you, blah, blah, blah. There is help for you. You know, sometimes all you need is just somebody to listen, to unburden, and they can help you change your perspective. Remember, it's perspective and expectation.
That's right.
Perspective.
And sometimes you're not able to see beyond, your box of what you feel per time. But you can get help. You can, when you talk to somebody, they would help you change your perspective. They will help you manage your expectations. And then they can help you boost your faith. But it is not well. So don't sweep everything under it. Because it's not well.
Yeah. You need to face it, speak it out, tackle it. And, if you don't do that, it's still going to be there.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you
Well,
so much for sharing.
And then let me also say this quickly.
mhm,
Sometimes to help your emotional stability,
mhm,
you might need to change environment.
mm,
You might need to change environment. You may need to change environment physically. You may need to change environment psychologically.
mm,
If you know what your triggers are, it's one thing for you to know yourself, fix your perspective, fix your expectation, and you're intentionally managing yourself. Part of being intentional about managing your psychological and emotional state of mind is also identifying if there is something that is a trigger that keeps taking you back into that
mm,
state of mind.
mm, mm,
Mm,
And you can assess it, and you're objective enough to identify that the problem is not my perspective.
no,
The problem is not my expectation. The problem is this thing is within my environment, and
environment.
it's a
Mm,
problem that is something that I cannot control.
mm,
At that stage, you are allowed to give yourself permission to
mm.
change,
Perspective.
relocate, to exit and reposition yourself in
mm,
another environment. It could be a friendship. It could be that one person that is just fond of speaking negativities. And
mhm.
every time
Yeah.
this person's negative energy comes into your energy field, it drains you all the time.
Mm,
And you need maybe like 3 or 4 days to recover your mind from
mm,
having a 5 minute conversation with this particular individual. Exit that relationship. Exit it because it's not helping you.
it's
If
not healthy.
a session with somebody for 5 minutes messes up your 1 week
Mm,
Mm,
instantly, and you've seen that it's not your perspective, you have seen that it's not your expectation. It is just this character that just is a negative energy force always coming. You are allowed to shift. Mentally shift from that person. Physically shift if
mm,
that's what's going to work for you. The thing with emotional stability is nobody can do it for you.
mm,
Even if you're getting help medically,
mm,
the bulk of
yeah.
the work still
Mm,
sits with you.
mm,
And you have to take ownership of your life,
mm,
ownership of your mind, and ownership of your joy and your mental health.
mm, mm, mm,
Sometimes you need to change location.
mm,
Like some of us had to move away from Nigeria.
mm,
It wasn't working for me. It wasn't working for the medical state. My child, you know, it was too much stress.
mm,
I had to find a way out. I thank God God made a way for me, even when I was not looking for a way. You know, most part I wasn't looking for a way. But today I am thankful to God that He orchestrated a way and took me out of that environment.
amen.
mm,
Amen.
Because that's what I actually need for my child to thrive and for me to also thrive. Mental
mm,
Mm, mm,
stress, that stress factor, you know, God took care of. So you need to know what your stress factors are, what
mhm,
your triggers are. So long as it's not your perspective that is, wonky, your expectation is not wonky, everything is in place. And this is just a negative circumstance,
mm,
negative situation. Please give yourself permission to exit and put yourself in a place where you can thrive.
confirm. Yeah. Mm. Wow.
wow. You know, we can we can use it all day. We can spend the whole day talking
This
about
is
this.
this
I know
is
you are well
no, it's
prepared.
because she's speaking from experience. So
Experience.
when you have somebody talking from experience, you can just allow them to keep talking. They've
Yes.
been there, they've done that, they've dealt with it, and they are still standing. So that's the reason why. But I wouldn't want to keep you for the whole day because I know you have some other things to do. Yeah.
Thank you, Kemi.
Thank you
And
so
Sam.
much. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Obi, for joining us. And we have our social handle on the screen. Follow Oby O-Davies on Instagram and LinkedIn. Like she has said it all. Please do not sweep everything under the carpet. Don't say it is well when it is not well. There are
Connect.
so many people you can share your problems with. If you're not comfortable talking it to your friends
Mhm.
or people around you, thinking, yeah, what are they going to say about me if I tell them I'm going through this?
Mhm.
You know, nobody is too big. In my own opinion, Obi, I want to believe you agree with me that nobody is too big in this life to face circumstances. So I don't know why we human beings were so ashamed of telling people that I'm going through this stuff. Can you please help me out? Do
Kemi,
not,
I agree with you, Kemi. You know,
yeah,
our culture, really, because I think that in this side of the world, people are very quick to like
to
they
open up their mind, right?
to open up. And you know, I
Mm,
remember it was part of the cultural shocks that I felt, the culture shocks that I felt here. Because we'll sit around the table in the office and somebody's just talking about, hey, my husband, he went to
mm,
blah blah yesterday. You know, things that we consider unspeakable in the African culture.
you are right. I'm telling you.
Openly, how
Mhm,
her husband, you know, went through stuff, had to go through it, has a medical situation, and then they're describing in detail what the situation looks like and the cause of treatment and all of that. And I'm like, what?
mm,
Really?
yeah.
Mm.
You know how
But you
even
see, that's it. Culture has
Mm.
taught us how to be silent.
it's true,
Mm.
yeah, right. I agree
Yeah.
with you, like because when they are even 1 week pregnant, they can tell you, but
Oh yeah,
you
one
can't do
week,
that in
one
Africa.
day.
You can't do that
Kevin,
in
one day,
Africa.
the minute they see the line on that test thing, the minute they see the line, the control line, and the guy, yeah, we're pregnant.
It's
But
just
in
being
Africa, they'll
suspicious.
tell you to shush, shush.
Is
Don't
that
say it, don't say
suspicious?
it. Even when it's your first trimester, you're not allowed to say it. It's when you're
When the thing is out, they cannot even hide it anymore.
yeah, and it just stems from suspicion that
That's right.
somebody in somebody's village, in somebody's whatever, will be
Mm.
after you.
Mm.
If you say it out, you're gonna lose the baby, blah blah blah. It's all cultural inclinations. I know and
Mm,
Mm.
perspectives of suspicion.
mm,
Yeah.
But having said that, you know, self-care is important. Take care of yourself.
That's right.
mm,
Your self-care starts from taking care of your mind. I
Great.
mean,
mm.
all beautiful and all decked up on the outside. It
Absolutely.
doesn't
Yeah.
going on your inside. And
Great.
that's why you would see a lot of vehicles parked on Third Milan Bridge with the door open and the person
Mm.
into the water,
Yeah.
right? There was a particular year where we had so many, you know, of that happening. And
Mm.
suicide is on the rise,
Yes.
even
Yeah.
COVID.
Mm.
And that's made it more difficult.
That's right.
So please, you can talk to people online. You could do
Mm.
catch with your friends on
Mm.
Zoom. You
Mm.
could play games online, you know, open your door. They say don't be in the midst of people, but you can open the door, get the air in your
Fresh hair.
face,
Mm.
you know,
Mm.
take a walk if you can,
Mm,
watch silly videos, you know, watch music videos, you know, just do something that takes your mind away, but
oh,
make sure that you are
Mm.
intentional about taking care of yourself, your mind,
mm,
Mm.
your
Mm.
heart, you know, how
Mm.
you feel inside.
Mm. Mm.
Call yourself in the word,
Great.
you know,
Wow.
anchor yourself in the word. Know the
Wow.
place of your faith, anchor yourself in the word. And
Great.
eat healthy if you can,
Yeah.
exercise when you can, sleep works like wonders.
Mm.
Part of the symptoms too is sometimes you might be losing your sleep without you
Mm.
would was bothering you, but you just have that insomnia. You're waking up 2 a.m., 30, you can't get enough sleep, you're tired, you know. Get good sleep. If you can't get good
Yeah.
sleep, you might need to seek medication to help you sleep. But take care
That's
of
right.
yourselves because your
That's right.
emotional stability sometimes might be the defining line between life
Mm.
and
Mm.
death.
okay.
Great. Thank
Thank
you, Obi.
you.
I think I'm just quickly for just within just 1 minute before we wrap it up. I'm just quickly going to go through our YouTube channel. I could see a lot of comment here. Thank you, BK Ojomo. You, if
Ah,
I pronounce
GPK
it
Ojomo.
okay. Oh, great. Yeah, she just said that. Okay, I'm going to post this here for you to see. Like. Also, we have to be careful who we talk to in emotional cases like this. Yeah, thank.
Absolutely. Oh, we don't have time. I would have told you some stories about my experience.
Oh
Say
my
you
goodness.
Yeah, maybe next time, right?
We are actually right behind time. Yeah,
Yeah, we gotta go.
And we did not
yeah.
even cover the whole thing. We
We
have
didn't
so many
actually
Totally,
questions.
cover. Yeah,
GPK, you're so right. You have to be
Yeah.
who you talk to. Yeah.
that's right. And also, our culture has really restricted us from voicing out our emotion. Yeah, thank
Mhm.
you,
That is
BK.
true.
Thank you. Really appreciate that. This okay, BK. Wow, that's a huge comment. I can't go through all because we're really out of time.
I think we
Thank you.
have to. I think maybe we have to bring it back. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now I didn't say this,
Because
but she did.
I
So,
am really enjoying this topic too. Like,
okay, I'm out of this now.
especially when we're talking about our culture. Our culture has really, really done so much damages.
Mhm.
I don't want to use that word, right? To us, like especially women, you cannot voice out so many things you're going through in your marriage. I want to use a language in Yoruba, ile eko ni o, right? And everything your husband does, you just have to accept it. You just have to stay in there. You don't have to voice out. Just endure.
Mhm.
They teach
Mhm.
us to endure it, right? You have said it
Mhm.
all. Our culture, the way we're brought up to, has so many things to do when
Right.
we're talking about emotional stability. But
Stability. Right.
like we said, the
Mm.
time is
Yeah, the time
has
is
went.
really, really, really,
The
really.
time is gone. Thank you
Yeah,
so much, Obi, for joining us. We really,
My
really, really
pleasure. My pleasure. I always love hanging
really,
out with you, and thank you for
great.
touching
we
lives.
en- we enjoy this moment. Please, like we said, so many people are out there and they need this thing. Just a click of the button. Just
Share.
share it. Just
Hmm.
share it. You don't
Share it
know
to
who.
someone. Share it
Just
with a
share it to
friend.
someone. Just share with your friends. You
Share it
don't
within
know
your network.
within your network. So
Mm.
many people might be,
Someone going through something can learn
can
something
learn
from here.
from what she has said.
Yes.
She has said
Mm.
so many things. And like I said, we might bring her back. We want her to share. She says she has so many experiences.
Okay.
I love listening to people's
I'm
experiences
just
because
looking you.
that
I'm just looking at the expression.
I know she will want to come back.
Open invitation.
Oh my God.
Because I
I
so
did the
much
first one
enjoy.
and the second. Now
I
it's
so much enjoy this. I
okay.
so much enjoy
Yeah,
this
you're just a
topic.
blessing. I love you so much,
I
Ruby. Thank
love
you
you
very
too.
much. Yeah.
You're
I
such a
love you too.
blessing.
Yeah, thank
You're
you.
such a blessing to us,
Great.
to people out there. Um, yeah, I think this is just gonna. We have so many questions that we did not even cover. We did not even talk about it. Yeah, but maybe some other time. We
Yeah.
have to go,
Yes,
right?
Great.
some other
Yeah.
time.
Thank you. So, you know what? Thank you, viewers, wherever you're joining from, on YouTube, on Facebook Live,
Instagram.
on Instagram. Well, I didn't post it on Instagram though, but wherever you're joining from, thank you very much. Really appreciate you.
Thank you.
We love you,
We
and
do
then we
love you.
can't change the world at one time, but we can do it one step at a time.
Yeah.
And this is one of the ways we can help someone out there going through something. And I want to encourage you, connect with us, join the group, join the community, and then let's make the world a better place.
Mm-hmm. Make
So
it a better
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. Let's
yeah,
make the world a better
a
place.
better
That's what
place.
God
Yeah, yeah.
expects of us.
That's it. Okay. Till then, thank you, Obi, one more time. Thank you,
Thank
Kemi. We really
you.
appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you next time on this platform, Director Distractor, reaching the world.
Reaching the
God
world
willing.
together.
Yeah.
God willing.
Thank
Thank you.
God
you.
willing. God bless you.